it up for Willie T. Rich.
And the not missing four like Ricky Gasson.
Talk to Big Willie. He can tell you some history on street racing.
That way the kids don't have any reason to be on the public streets.
And we'll make sure that's all good. And we'll get right into it.
Awesome.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Chris Harris. Welcome to another episode of the AARA podcast. And I am super honored for our guest here today. She is the epitome of Black girl magic, and anything you can do, I can do better. She is a pro drag racer on motorcycles. She has pretty much driven everything with a motor and excelled at it. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to everybody Dystany Spurlock.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm excited about this.
No, we're super excited to have you here. As I kind of learn about you further in your history, you are really somebody that is an adrenaline junkie, and a horsepower fiend, and also your mindset of there's nothing that you feel you can't do.
That is very true. That is me in a nutshell. I am a gearhead motorsports junkie. Like, I got the whole motor type stuff on my sleeve.
You got a turbo there?
Yeah, you see, it's a turbo. Oh, it's not done yet, but yeah.
It looks good though.
Thank you. But yeah, I like to be that example for all men, all women, all boys, all girls to say, hey, if she can do it, I can do it too. That's my motto. So.
That's so awesome. Motorsports is not something that you've kind of picked up as a passion later on. This is literally in your bloodline.
Yeah, it's going through my veins.
Yeah, it started, I think I saw your grandfather used to race, and it kind of started from there.
Yeah, he used to do some street racing, and we went to a few tractor pulls, and I went to the drag strip to see some motorcycle races and car races, and I fell in love with it. But let's back up. Mm-hmm. It started before then. But before I could walk, literally, my mom and dad bought me a Barbie Jeep and a Barbie Corvette Power Wheel. So I couldn't even walk yet. But my mom and dad put a pillow in the bottom and the back so I can like kind of be up, so I can kind of touch the pedal. So yeah, it goes way back.
It goes way back. Before you can even figure it out, you were in it.
Yes.
That is super awesome, man. That is super awesome. So has motorcycles always been the initial goal, or was it cars first, or just anything that had a motor and a steering wheel?
I would say anything that had a motor, but I kind of fell into motorcycles because my mom used to ride me on the back of it when I was like 6. And like I said, I had always been around motorsports, but my first initial category that I said, this is what I'm going to do was motorcycles. Motorcycles.
That's awesome. I also saw somewhere where you were racing in an indoor arena league in karts. Talk to me a little bit about that.
So that was arena racing in Richmond, Virginia. I miss those days so much. They're half scale NASCARs. We go about 60 miles an hour in an indoor arena. They're gas powered, of course. And listen, those things are so fast. You literally, I forgot, I think it's like a 12 foot, each car is like 6 feet wide, or a little bit smaller than that. But literally we would go 3 wide, and it's probably like 15 feet of width of the track. So you got three cars side by side going around that. But that was so fun. And that really was like, okay, I want to do NASCAR. I thought about doing NASCAR before it because I grew up around the Richmond National Raceway. Mm-hmm. But once I did those arena cars and felt what it feels like to race a car, I'm like, let's do this.
So question. So now you get, and I'll get back to the NASCAR thing in a second. So now you transition from that and you go more full-time into motorcycles. So this year you've gone full-time into the Miller Brothers event, XDA, and you're racing 3 bikes in that organization?
Yes.
Whoa.
So I know, right? Motorcycles, I think it's like 11 or 12 years now. But this year I'm racing full-time in the XDA Xtreme Dragbike Association with Miller Brothers. And like you said, I'm racing 3 classes: Pro Xtreme, 460 Index, and Super Stock, all pro classes. Wow. How am I gonna do this? Listen, without my boyfriend and my team, I can't do it. So they're gonna help me.
That's what's up. And that's the thing too. Your team is such an important aspect of what you do. But you know, I know a lot of times people think about like NHRA and things of that nature, but I know with Pro Xtreme, that bike is tremendously faster than a pro stock bike, isn't it?
Oh yes, extremely. Well, we're on, okay, so I'm gonna back up. And PDRA, pretty much it's pro mod motorcycle. So that's exactly what my bike is essentially. PDRA doesn't allow the turbos anymore. So Jason opened up at Miller Brothers Productions. He opened up the platform to say, hey, let's bring Pro Xtreme here. You can have the turbos and we're only going to do an 1/8 of a mile. So we're going like crazy. I think my bike has 800 horsepower. We're going low 4 to high 3-second passes. That's insane. And we're literally our 60 foots are going to be like 1.0s or 0.9. Like
that's insane.
Yeah,
that is
so way faster than pro stock motorcycles. But NHRA, listen, I might be there too.
Hey, listen, for somebody who's done it all, right? I can't imagine you not eventually being there and jumping in that arena.
Yes, for drag racing, NHRA is the goal ultimately. So.
What do you think is some of the? I know in motorsports a lot of the times, especially with NASCAR and NHRA, a big part of the Achilles heel as far as getting in is just pure funding, right? Being able to afford to race the bike. Unfortunately, motorsports, once you get to the professional level, is extremely expensive. So, and a lot of us don't have that type of income to support an entire team for a year. So is that kind of some of the Achilles heel that you're dealing with?
Yes, to race NHRA Pro Stock motorcycle for a full season, it can run you anywhere from $250,000 to $300,000 for a whole season. So, and that's not including you making a salary. So that's just purely funding the business to race. So, yeah, it's
a lot.
It's expensive, but you never know who's listening or who's around that corner. Like, yeah, come on.
No, you're absolutely right. So you have worked your way to being the first woman, African-American woman ever in Man Cup to win the 460 class. And that is, I'm sure you don't go through all these competitions and you go, hey, you know, I want to be the first Black woman to do this. I just want to be the first woman to do this. But the feat in itself, just because of the history of the world, it's amazing that, you know, in the 21st century, you are the person that's worked your way, blood, sweat, and tears, and is the first. How did that feel for that accomplishment, to be the first to do this?
So to piggyback off of what you said, I don't go out of my way to say, hey, I want to be the first woman to win this, to do this. That's not my goal. My goal is to be the best at my sport, to know my sport inside and out, and therefore there's nothing that I can't do. But my emotion of that whole experience was phenomenal. I was kind of stuck. I'm like, did that really just happen? Am I really so, okay, when it happened, I didn't think, oh, you're the first woman that's won a 460 index class or won a 460 index final. I didn't think of that. It wasn't until I literally got to the trailer and they're like, you know, you're the first woman that's won a 460 index race. And I'm just like, what? No.
I'm just happy I won. What's all this other stuff?
Right. Exactly. So it was just so empowering because there's so many other women and men out there too that have never won a race in like, or haven't even won around in a race. So to win rounds and to win it and to be the first, it's a blessing. And I'm, like I said, I can't do any of this without my team. I can't. Like
How long have you been with your team for?
So 460, I think this will be my 3rd year. Yeah, COVID doesn't really count, but it counts. So yeah, this is my 3rd year.
Oh my, you have to literally erase 2020 from the entire calendar. Because the same thing, I'm like, well, how many years? Well, 2020 doesn't count, so.
Right, so if you take away of COVID. This is my second year for
Exactly.
but with COVID, it's like my third, I think. But yeah. And then I think I can't exactly remember the plaque that I got given to me, but the DMV banquet, they had a award ceremony and they presented me with a plaque for being the first woman to win a 460 index final. So
that's so dope. And like you said, you don't go out there to be the first woman or the first African American woman, but we truly feel, especially in this organization, representation is so important, especially in all aspects of life. And for young Black girls to see you, right, and to see you out there in the sport where they don't see many women that look like them, I think it's amazing. And in the sense that you're winning too, right? You're accomplished. So you're not just out there just to face and not accomplishing anything, right? But you're actually out there and you're winning. And it's such an inspiration to boys and girls, you know, especially with your personality that's open and wanting to talk to people. I think it's super dope what you're doing in the sport, and you're an awesome ambassador for it, and really living proof that, hey, given the shot, we can do whatever anybody else can do.
That's right. That is so true. And I get a lot of messages from people. They're like, how can I get into racing? And I love when I get those messages because I'm able to show them how to get in, because a lot of people aren't open to give opinions or, you know, let them know how you can. But me, if I know the information, I'm going to give it to you. I don't care what it is, whether it's how to get sponsors or, you know, what racetrack should I go? What gear should I wear? Whatever. I will give them my little jewels that I know.
That's awesome. It's paying it forward, right? It's really, you know, to make sure that you're not the last, and that's so important. And even you talk about sponsors, right? Through all the hard work that you have, and now this year with your Xtreme bike, you have a new sponsor on board, and I kind of saw the paint scheme from her. That's a bad mamma jamma. Talk a little bit about the bike.
Thank you. Okay, so the Pro Xtreme motorcycle that I will be racing this year, our headline sponsor is Strut Masters. I'm so thankful for them. We're going to do great this year. They also sponsor a motorcycle and some cars and dragsters in NHRA as well. Nice. So as my team and being a part of Strut Masters, this is great. I think I'm another first that, see, this is not the stuff I think about, but having conversation makes me think. I think I'm the first woman to race Pro Xtreme in XDA too. I guess I will be. I don't know. I think I'm the first to do super stock too. This is crazy, but I mean, it means something, but it doesn't, because it's like once you line up beside your opponent, it doesn't matter if they're girl or guy, teenager. Is like you're trying to cut their head off and win that race.
Absolutely.
So, but this year we're going to championship.
But it doesn't. And you know what? It's kind of like, especially, you know, understanding being an athlete. You know, you see people kind of oogle and Google at you, and you don't realize it because it's you, right? They're so amazed by everything you're doing. You're like, oh, I'm just Dystany. I'm just riding a motorcycle. Like, you don't think anything of it. So when you accomplish all these things, you don't realize the impact. Sometimes you have to step outside yourself and realize, you know what, I really just did X, Y, Z. And I think it's the same thing to it. You're out there, you're just focused and you're racing, and you don't realize how much of an impact you have on so many people who are watching and following what you're doing. So man, it's super dope and excited. And then there's NASCAR. So
there's NASCAR.
There's NASCAR. I have such an interesting opinion on NASCAR, but it is, in American sports, it is kind of the top tier. And it's so dope that more and more minorities are getting interested in participating in it, from racers to owners. And, you know, in the past, you've had other females jump on board, and now you are testing the waters on trying to get into NASCAR, and that, from what I've been reading and seeing, is one of your big goals to drive for a NASCAR team. Talk about that.
Yeah. Okay, so as I said earlier, I grew up, my grandparents lived a mile up the road from Richmond International Raceway. So when I was little, I would always hear it. And then to fast forward, when I got the chance to race the arena cars in the Richmond Coliseum, we got to do a lot of things at RIR for the NASCAR races. And it really boosted my fuel and fire and love for NASCAR. So I've been working on getting into NASCAR it's been over 6 years at this point. I literally had a deal, and when it came time to sign everything, it fell through. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So of course you get discouraged, but you have to keep going. And then you talk to other people and everybody promises you the world and we're gonna get you seat time and this. And then it's like, okay, well, when are we gonna get in the car? And you're waiting, and that day never happened.
Yeah.
So it's just like I took it upon myself to do what I can on my own. So last year, before COVID, I got the chance to do some seat time.
Everything's BC.
Before COVID, I got to do some seat time at Dominion Raceway, which was really awesome. And we were filling everything out. You know, I already had my seat and everything. And we did the whole filming thing with Muscles and Classics. And then COVID hit. So now this year, it's like I'm starting all over again. But this year it's different because I have a fully impacted 3-class series. I mean, 3 classes that I'm racing in a series. Yeah. So yeah.
You can do it though. And whoever's gonna eventually come across this, understand that yes, it costs $10 trillion to race in NASCAR. And yes, Dystany is able to do it. So yeah. Put your dollars up. That's it. And it's amazing how much it costs to run, but you know, there's so many skilled individuals, and you know, you've proven yourself on the track, and that transition probably won't be hard, but like you said, it's just the finances of it. So yeah. If you got deep pockets and you're watching, better reach out to her, hook her up. Make it happen. Yeah. How is that? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was saying, but too, right now I do stuff like race carts and stuff at the local indoor and outdoor carts, that not the little putt ones, but like the alcohol ones and the really fast ones. So we try to do a little bit of that while I can.
How is that difference? Is the mindset the same essentially from, you know, the carts to the drag bike, or is it a little bit different in how you prepare and race?
So I think in the cars, I'm aggressive in both, but car racing, I'm that person that when they say if it's not rubbing, it's not racing. Like I'm that person. I'm rubbing. I'm like, move. I'm here. I'm gonna hit you your quarter pound. I'm here. Let you know. Let's go. So, but in drag racing, I'm just as aggressive too. But sometimes I get in my own way. I overthink myself when I'm about to start. But I've gotten a lot better. My boyfriend has helped me with my mental toughness, you know, a whole lot to get out my way. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And just to be on the bike and go for, people don't realize we throw that number out there, you know, 460s, but they don't understand how fast that truly is. And I used to ride, never rode as fast as you've ridden, but I used to ride once upon a time. I had a ZX14, and, you know, me going on the street, I thought that was fast, but it's still not fast. Like how is that feeling of just being on a bike with just that much power and just, I don't want to say it's just hold on because there's so much skill involved, but it's almost like you're driving this thing, but you're holding on at the same time.
Yeah. I don't think about it. Honestly, it's second nature to me. I literally am to the point that I've raced so much that I can think about everything. I know when I pass the 60-foot cone, I can see my opponent in my peripheral. You don't really realize how fast you're going until it's time for you to sit up, and the wind is like, whoosh. You're like, hold on, wait, let me get back down. Hold on. But it's very exciting. Like it's almost overwhelming, but it's one of those good things, like that was scary, but let's do it again.
And that goes back to you being an adrenaline junkie, right? I saw that space. Talk to me about space. You wanting to go to space? I think I saw somewhere. To the moon?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Whoa, that's a like old interview.
Yes.
But yes,
I went deep.
to go to,
I went deep. That's
yes, I
awesome.
want to go to space. I specifically want to go to Mars because I'm an Aries, and like I think Aries fall under Mars, so I'm gonna go to the red planet.
Well, you're definitely fast enough to get it there, so that'll work out. And talk to me about football, right? When did you play football? What part of your life was this when you played football, and how was that experience?
Okay, so I played football in middle school and high school. I was the only girl. My coaches came to my mom. They're like, before we can let you do this, we need to talk to your mom. I'm like, okay. So they asked my mom, so why does she want to do this? Does she want to do this because of the guys, or does she just like the sport? And my mom's like, she loves the sport. Like, what does this have to do with anything? So they're like, okay, I guess we're gonna have to let her try out because there's nothing in the rule book that said I couldn't. I tried out, made the team, and kept going.
That's awesome, man. That is so. How was that experience? And has that kind of I'm sure, especially in high school, because high school kids can be cruel, right? The boys on the team saying a girl, because I'm not even gonna lie, as sexist as I'm not, if I saw the girl came on the team when I was in high school, I'd be like, hold up, what is going on, coach? You could have been 100% capable, right? But it's just that initial hold on, if we're gonna be honest, right? So how is that, and has that kind of translated into motorsports too? Because at the same time, motorsports is a very male-dominated industry. So talk to me kind of about that.
All right, so it wasn't cruel for me because I grew up with everybody that was on the team already. We all went to elementary, middle school, and high school together. So they embraced me like that's my family. Like, you hit her, we gonna hit you. So that it wasn't. I'll tell you what it was bad for. It was bad for the guys that tried out and didn't make the cut, and I made the cut. So I felt bad for them. But you're absolutely right. It is a male-dominated sport. And I've always been in male-dominated things. Like, I don't know if you know this or not, but I drive tractor trailers for a living. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, again, another male-dominated thing. So just like the football field, they're like, you're so small, you play football? I'm like, yeah. At the racetrack on the drag strip. They're like, oh my gosh, you're a girl, you're so small, you race? I'm like, yeah. Then I get out this big truck with these big stacks, this 13 speed truck. I hop out, they're like, you just got off that? I'm like, yeah.
Wait,
like,
all of this is not computing right now, right?
Right. So I don't look like the stuff that I enjoy doing.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, but you enjoy it and you do a great job of it. I know I also read up about a lot of a charity initiative that you have and how you really aim to inspire and then also help other people, reach their dreams. So talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so here recently when I did the Lexus 0 to 60 challenge with Big Tigger, they allowed us to donate a certain amount of money to one of our favorite charities. And one of my favorite charities is Feed It Forward out of Washington, D.C. And they go out and they help the homeless literally feed it forward. They get food. They do a lot of turkey drives for Thanksgiving and all of that. And I was able to donate to them. So that made my heart glow. And myself, I'm working on my foundation called What's Your Destiny Foundation, which basically is kind of like, I'll just tell you, it's basically helping kids making their dreams come true. So whether they're less fortunate or they have a disability or something is holding them back from being able to do something they love, whether it's playing AAU basketball or if they want to go to college, I want to be able to help in any way possible, or even if they need school supplies. So awesome. my heart sits with helping people. I'm so humble, and if I don't have it, I'm gonna find it so that you can have it. So
that's awesome. And I think that really speaks to your character and you being a great ambassador for motorsports in general. We're super excited to have the opportunity to interview you and share your story on our platform. And then we as an organization will continue to support you. We're going to be out there cheering you on at XDA events. We're going to continue to post your career on here and just do our job as an organization to highlight you and individuals like you who have been nothing but positive and excelled and did your thing. And hopefully somebody with deep pockets that wants to do a NASCAR team can holla, holla, holla. So,
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'm here for the sponsorship.
That's awesome. Dystany, any last words? Give people your schedule, where they can find you, your social media handles, so they can get in contact with you.
Awesome. So all my social medias, if you just type in Dystany Spurlock, Dystany Spurlock, you'll find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter is I'm Your Destiny. My website is DystaNySpurlock.com. It is under construction, so if you go there, you don't see much. That's why. But I will be posting my schedule probably Friday. So
awesome.
Yeah,
well, good luck.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. I also want to say thank you to all my sponsors and supporters and fans and family. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Without them, right, it makes it a little bit harder.
That's right.
Well, Dystany, thank you for sitting down with me and chatting. I truly appreciate it, and we're excited to follow you in the XDA this year. Good luck with everything.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
All right, take care.